today's mathematical literacy lesson. My name is Bernard Donko. This lesson is brought to you by the Northern Cape Department of Education in collaboration with Pagama Research and Development. So now we are going to paper 2. We are revising the various topics that are there to help you prepare for the final exam. As you know, in paper 2, we are dealing with what? Maps and plans, measurement, as well as probability questions. And therefore, at the end of the lesson, you should be able to answer questions on all of them. So now, for you to do very well, then your knowledge about operations, rounding, understanding percentages, units, and correct use of calculator are very important. So let us be going. I have put some few questions here for you that I want you to help me answer them. So I have got some formulas on my left, or from number 1 up to number 8, and then on the other side are the answers, but they have been scrambled. I want you to figure out which one is which. Like the first one, when we say pi r squared, when do we use pi r squared? So you must look through and tell me the correct answer. So when we talk of pi r squared, it means we are looking for the area, okay? Area of a circle. So this is our number 1. When we talk of 2 into bracket L plus width, we are talking of what? Perimeter of a rectangle. When we talk of 4 times the side, because it's all equal, it means we are looking for the area of a square, or we can even talk of perimeter of a square because all the sides are equal. Then we talk of the total area of all sides of a 3D object. We are talking of what? The total surface area. So we can put here as our 4. Length times width times height. We are talking of what? Volume of a rectangular prism. Okay? Rectangular prism. So we can put here as our 5. Total distance around a circular object. We are referring to the circumference of a circle. Then the amount of space that is enclosed within a container, that is our volume. And then H is pi r squared H. We use that when we are finding volume of a cylinder. I hope you followed and you managed to get all of them correct. Okay, now, how does the paper 2 look like? It's just like the way you did for the prelim. So you see the paper 2 has measurement, maps, and probability, and you needed to write it in a period of 3 hours. So that's what we are doing here. What were the questions or the subtopics that generated those questions? It came from conversions, measuring an instrument, perimeter of rectangular and square circle, BMI, area of shapes, surface area, volume, capacity, all of them. That's what gave us the questions on measurement. Then when you come to maps and plans, we talk of the ratio as in bar scale, number scale, how to determine the scale, questions on maps and plans, and then using floor plans and layout plans. That is how the questions were generated. So in this video, our focus is on maps and plans. Let's check. Here, we are looking at this to help you find out the checklist to ensure that you understand every point. So when you talk of maps and plans, you should be able to answer questions on scales, maps and plans, location, compass, direction, then you know you're fine. Then when we come to measurement, being able to convert units between different unit systems, estimate, measure, calculate, then you know you are able to do what? You should be able to adjust values also. So now let's talk of our maps and plans for paper 2. When they give you something like this is what you call a bar scale. This one is what you call a number scale. Are we good? So whenever they ask you to explain the term scale, what's a scale? You should say a scale of a map is a ratio of the distance on the map to the actual distance on the ground. Okay, so that relationship between what is on the map to what is in reality is what we call a scale. And like I'm saying, in our Matlet, we use number scale and bar scale. So don't forget about that. Then, what are the questions that they will be asking you then? They can be asking you to find the actual distance. They can ask you to find the map distance, and they can ask you to find the scale. So the moment they ask you to write paper 2, I want you to draw this diagram. If you have been watching my videos, you will see I keep on repeating it because it's very vital. Draw that diagram so that you know whichever one you are working on, you cover it. Whatever is exposed is how you calculate. So let's say we are looking for actual distance. It means we cover actual distance, then we are left with MD and SF. How do they relate? They multiply each other. So let's look at an example then. Let's say when you are asked to calculate the actual distance, they're saying if 20 centimeters is measured on a map, that's the map distance. Calculate the real distance in kilometers, given a scale of 1 is to 20,000. So the scale of 1 is to 20,000 is a number scale. Can you see that? It's not a bar scale. So how do we do it? So we are saying we are looking for actual distance, so we cover it. Okay? So actual distance, once you cover it, is left with map distance and the scale factor. The scale factor is the value on your right side of the scale if the left side is 1. Are we good? Okay. So now our scale factor is 20,000. So we multiply the 2, which will give us 400,000 centimeters. But then, remember, the examiner said they want the answer in kilometers. So one thing that will help you also to write the kilometers, meters, centimeters, and millimeters. In between each one, this one is 1,000, this is 110. So when you are moving from big to small, you multiply. Meaning from this point to that point, we are multiplying. When you're moving from small to big, we divide. So here, you will realize that we are moving from centimeters, they want it in kilometers. So we are from here, we are going backwards. So what do we do? How many zeros? You can see here, we have got 5 zeros, that is 100,000. So we are going to divide by 100,000. It means the distance is 4 kilometers. What if they ask you to calculate the map distance? Then you will realize that now you cover the map distance. So once you cover it, we are left with AD and SF. Remember I said to you, the SF is the value on your right side of the scale, the number scale, if the left side is 1. So let's look at here. It says the actual, that's AD, né? The actual is 2.2 meters. Use the scale of 1 is to 20. So it means 20 is our SF. So what do? We are going to take the 2.2 meters. We are going to divide it by 20. That will give us 0.11, but the examiner wants the answer in centimeters. So the first thing you do is find the answer the examiner wants, then you can convert. So once you convert, we are changing from meters to centimeters, we multiply by 100. How about the third time? We are asked to find the scale. Like, how do you find the scale? It says the actual length of one side of a building is 9.5 meters, actual AD. The length on the plan is 4.75 centimeters. So what was the scale? So they are saying in reality it's 9.5, but when we measure it, it's only 4.75. So what was the scale? So you write them as a form of a ratio, but you're going to say, all right, MD is 4.75, SF I don't know. So AD is what? MD times SF. So here we are going to say the 9.5 meters, let's convert it, né? Because already one of the values is in centimeters. So let's convert. We convert from meters to centimeters by multiplying by 100. So now our AD is 950, our MD is 4.75. Then what do? We are going to divide both of the values. So when we divide, because we are looking for SF, we cover it. It's going to be AD divide MD. What's my AD? 950. What is my MD? 4.75. We are going to get 200. But 200 is not yet a scale. You must write it as 1:200. So once you use this approach, you are going to get the scale factor. Then you take it from there and write the scale. That's how you answer the questions. Now let's talk of when you are given a bar scale to work with. What do? So you see that on a map or any diagram that you're given, maybe they give us the bar scale. What should you do? You take your ruler and measure the entire bar. would love that you measure the entire. Maybe your teachers are saying measure a portion of it. That's still fine. But from what I'm teaching you here, I would love that you measure the entire bar. So when you measure the entire bar, maybe from one point to the other, let's say it is 5 centimeters. All right. So then let's work. It says if the length on the map between two towns is 4 centimeters, that's the MD. Calculate the AD. So it means that we are short of one value, isn't it? The MD is 4 centimeters. Our AD, we don't know it. And they did not give us the SF. So where are we going to get our SF? We get SF from the bar scale that we are given. So let us work then. Now, we measure the entire bar. So from one point to the other, I got roughly about 5 centimeters. When you have this, measure from the paper that you have. Then I write from the last value which is on the bar. Remember I said let's measure everything. So I'm saying 5 centimeters represents 300 kilometers. Now, the distance between the two places is 4. So what do? I will take the value of 4, which is in the question, divide by the other value which I measured on the bar, and multiply by the last number on my bar scale. So it means 4 divided by 5 times 300. That will give me 240 kilometers. That is the real distance between the two places. So that takes us to the end of our exam tips. Let's look at some few questions here. They have given us a question and they are saying, use the information above to answer the questions. How many national roads is or are there on the map? So a national road is those one with the letter N. So you're going to have to look closely and write your answers. Number 2, give the general direction of Ulundi from Lesotho. So it means if you are at Lesotho, where is Ulundi? That's the question. Then number 3, give the name of the province that is east of Lesotho. So you should be able to know which one is your east. My east is the side of my right. Okay, so you must look. This is north, east, south, west. So you are at Lesotho. What is the name of the province which is east of Lesotho? That's what they're asking you. All right. Then let's go to 1.4. It says the distance from Lesotho to Ulundi is 734 kilometers. Mrs. Chabalala is driving at an average speed of 120 kilometers. How long? So we are talking of time. How long will it take him? How long will it take her to reach Ulundi? Give your answer in hours and minutes. Then they give us this formula. How do we work that out? We'll be coming back to respond to them. I'm giving the type of questions that you are likely to face in the examination. 1.5. Mrs. Chabalala will first go to Free State to pick her son. Her car's fuel consumption is 19.62 kilometers per liter, and the cost of petrol is 17 rand per liter. 1.5.1. Give a clear set of directions for the Chabalalas to go to Empangeni, where they plan to spend a day with a family friend before going to Ulundi. So we are asking you to say, take this road that will take you to here. From there, take the next road. We are given a set of directions. Prepare, my learners, prepare. The things teachers have been teaching in class plus what you are getting here, they are going to be extremely vital for you to do it. Let's go to 1.5.2. Another question could be, how many liters of petrol will Mrs. Chabalala need for the return? Return means get it to that place and back. So if, let's say you're using 300 rand, return means plus another 300 rand. 1.5.3 says, hence, calculate the amount of money the Chabalalas will need for the petrol. And then the next one will be, give a reason why there is a bold line between Lesotho and South Africa. So if we check this Lesotho, and then we have South Africa. The question is, why is there a bold line? Remember, Lesotho is a country on its own. So we used to demonstrate or show that that's a boundary for countries. Lesotho is a country, South Africa is a country. So the bold line represents what? A boundary between the two countries. So all the questions that I was asking you here are the answers. And I've already added it there to help you so that as you work, you will be able to go back and forth to see what you're talking about. Okay. Let's talk of a situation where they have given us a bar scale on a map. How do we work? It says determine the scale used on the map. So they just gave us a bar scale. What do you do? Like, remember what I said to you? Measure the entire bar. So in this case, you measure, say you got 2. What is the last value there? 500. So 2 centimeters is being used to represent 500 kilometers. Then what do? Divide both sides by 2 centimeters. So you're going to get 1. And then this side will be 50 million divided by 2 centimeters. Remember, this is kilometers and this side is what? Centimeters. So as you go along, for you to work, you need to learn to convert. So from kilometers to centimeters, you multiply by 100,000. Don't forget. If it is from kilometers to millimeters, you would multiply by 1 million. Never forget that. Let's talk of compass directions. So in the examination, the examiner can give you this type of compass or just give you a simple one like the arrow with the letter N. When you look at your map and your arrow is not facing up, it means that's not the north. So for you to answer the question, let's say your arrow goes this way and they have written the letter N. What you must do is to turn the arrow to come up with the letter N before you answer the question. Because if you answer it this way, you're going to get it wrong. Your north will not be your north. Maybe it will be somewhere east or west. So always make sure that the arrow faces up. And how do you do that? You turn the question paper. Turn the question paper, make sure the N faces up before you answer the questions. When we ask you to give directions, use terms like go straight, turn right, turn left, proceed, cross, make a U-turn. Those are the words we want you to be using in the examination. Don't complicate things. Just use simple things. Like if I'm asking you to give me a direction from the reception of the school to maybe your classroom, then you have to be able to give very simple set of directions. This is an example of a strip chart. How do you know it's a strip chart? You will know that on the left and on the right, there are distances that are already calibrated. So if we are traveling between two places, it's very easy for us to determine the distances. Like here it says, use the strip chart above to answer the following questions. Describe the route, including the distance Mpilontle will follow. So it means Mpilontle is going from one place to the other. So if Mpilontle is traveling, let's say from Cape Town to, let's say, George, then Mpilontle must use the N2, continue on the N2 until he gets to his destination. But sometimes it does not go straight. Let's say it's moving from Cape Town to Cape Agulhas here. So in that case, he must move from Cape Town on the N2 and then turn and come and take the R317, which is taken to Bredasdorp, then continue from Bredasdorp to Cape Agulhas. But if you look closely, you will see that on the values, on the lines, there are small bluish values. Those are distances between the places. Meaning when you see 22 here, it means from Humansdorp to Francis Bay, the distance between them is what? 22 kilometers. Let's say from George to Ocean here, the distance is what? 67 kilometers. But if you're moving straight, let's say from Cape Town to Riversdale here, then you see it is what? 304 kilometers. So the distance are there. It is easy for you to work them out. Very, very easy. Calculate the total distance in 2.1 above. Use the given fuel consumption rate to advise Mpilontle on the number of times he will need to refuel. So as you calculate, you are going to be given the distance from one point to the other, and then you'll be able to know the fuel consumption like we did before. So it's basically the same thing, just that it's different types of maps. Now I'm giving you the solutions to the questions that I was asking you, so that on your own spare time you'll be able to go back and forth, check the question, and see if everything that you were doing is correct. Okay, now let's look at maps and plans. Now we're focusing on plans. We have been talking of maps. Now let's look at plans. So we are talking of assembly instructions and diagrams. Okay, you should be able to complete tasks. If they give you some steps, you should be able to add or follow the steps that you're given to complete. Like here, the first one, we are building a structure. So in the question paper, they will be giving you maybe step 1, 2, and then you must write maybe 3 and 4. And every time you're able to write the correct step using your own words, you get the marks, as long as you follow the instructions that are given. The next one here is talking about like a cell phone. Can you see I've given just the pictures, but you can look at the picture like number 1. You can see the arrow is going to where the SIM card slot is, meaning I am inserting the SIM pin into the SIM tray so that I can be able to pull it out. If you look at number 2, once the SIM card tray pops out, what should I do? Pull out. So basically it's saying take it out of the SIM of the phone, meaning you are removing. The next one, you can see the arrow is pointing downwards, meaning place the SIM card into the SIM tray, like that. So you follow the set of instructions that you are given. How about if you are given a floor plan? So in the floor plan, you should know that we are having symbols for doors, for windows, for tables, for bed, for couch, for tables, and so on. But first, what is the floor plan? Because you are going to be asked that question. A floor plan shows the top view of a building. Okay? A floor plan shows the view of a building as if you are looking at it from the top without the roof. That is what you call a floor plan. So you should be able to use the various symbols to tell you much information about it. This is a door. Okay, these are doors. And then these ones are windows. Are we together? So, do you see I have got the letter N here, meaning north is north, which means this whole line here, from this point to that side, is my east. This point to this point, this line is my south. This side is my west, and then the top line is my north, because we have those 4 that form the building. So you should be very much used to that. Now, these are the symbols I was talking to you about. So when you see a thick line like this one, that is a wall. When you see a line which is thick and then small dotted ones inside, and then there's a thick one, we are talking of window. And then when you see the arc with lines around it, that is the door. So you should be able to know. But the good thing is that in the examiner will give you these symbols, and then we'll ask you questions about that. Now we are looking at elevation plans. So we have floor plans and elevation plans. So this is the floor plan of the building. These are the faces of the building. Are we good? So whenever they ask you what's an elevation plan shows the different side views of a building, like the north, south, east, and so on. It shows you where the window is. You see, the floor plan is basically flat, like, as if you're looking at it from the top. But the elevation plan basically talks as if you are actually facing the building. Elevation. It has been lifted up. It has been elevated. Okay. Then we talk of models. Packaging. You should not forget about that. Ne? When we talk of packaging, we use the bigger length divided by the diameter, or the smaller length. The bigger width divided by the smaller width. The bigger height divided by the smaller height. Then the key is also to remember that because it is packaging, you must always remember to round down your answers. Are we together, my learners? So let's say you have 14.9. Can you see this 9 is big, but the space is not there for you to fit in 15. So you will round down to 14, let's say 14 boxes. Let's say 15.2. You round it down to 15. That's how you work with packaging. Now, I've given you some few questions that will help you in terms of your homework. You need to attempt them. I've applied the solutions there also so that it can guide you to see if you are doing the right thing. Remember, we are almost there. So I need you to be ready for the next portion, which is going to be measurement, which is the second part B of this paper 2 revision, so that you get a complete package before you enter the examination. Thank you very much, my learners, for staying with me up to this point. I will see you soon when we are discussing part B of the paper 2. Bye-bye.